Thank you for joining Logos Bible Software Tutorials, and we are continuing on with going through the workflows and seeing how that can help us with our Bible study. Let's get at it. Welcome. So, as you can see, I have my blank screen. I don't have anything pulled up. And I do this so that so then if you come to this video that you know that what we do, that you can do the same thing that I do. So we're gonna go into here, and our one that we had picked from was the basic Bible study. We're gonna click on that, and what you're gonna see when I type in my Luke 1:1-4, that's the one that we did. Now my notes are still there. So here's my notes. It saves this. So every time that you do a specific one. So let me just see. So it's and what we see is this is a different one altogether. So you have to be careful. So even if you get one verse wrong, you have. But when I go back to the 4, it saves this as its own. In programming language, this is what we would call its own instance. So it creates a specific file that gets everything matched here. Okay. So our next step is read the passages in other translations. Now, this is extremely helpful. And if you want to show that you're done with this, so when we're done, then it's going to have a blue dot there. So, going back to reading from other translations, this is extremely helpful if you don't know Greek or Hebrew. This is going to be something so important. So it gives you a little bit of note here, and it gives you a tool. So just so you know, I have the tool, or then I have this resource here. Some of you may not have it. So if I click it, I can read, and this is from Gordon Fee and Douglas Stewart's book, How to Read the Bible for All It's Worth. It is one of my favorites. So, and if you want to reread that you can. But we're going to close that out. Now, what it's going to do is going to pull up a resource that you can use to compare Bible versions. It's called text comparison. You click this, and the text comparison is going to automatically populate. Now, I like this one. I like the ESV. I like the Lexham English, the NIV, the NLT. I don't like this one. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to click here, and I'm going to go down here, and I'm going to unclick. And what you're going to see is that it's gone. So, say for instance, I wanted to also compare one that's not here. So I don't use the King James. But if I wanted to, that I could add it right there. Um, if I wanted to have the NAS, or let's do the NIV, and let's do the 84 edition because I want it. Right here, the NIV 84. So we have this. So we're gonna click here. And here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to click on the NIV, put it right before here. So now that the NIV is moved differently, so you can move all these around. We're going to click on here, and we're also going to also want the NASB. Let's go with the 2020. So This gives you Luke, we're just going to go with Luke 1. So this gives you, okay, so here's the first, so how this works. It takes the first version and it compares that to every other version. So, so say for example, that I wanted to switch this around. Say I wanted to have the NASB at the very front. Now it's going to happen. It's going to show you that the difference between the NASB and every other version going forward. And this makes perfect sense because the NASB, more than any other translation, is as about literal translation as you can get. But say for instance that I just want to so if I wanted to shift and say I wanted the just say I wanted the NIV 84. I wanted that to be first, and that so that's going to compare everyone. So what you're seeing is a different percentage of differences based on the first version. You got to keep that that's very important. Is that and then it's going for word. It's not so it's just saying, oh, okay, this is this amount of percentage of differences, and then it's just taking it word for word. Um, if I wanted to do the King James, boom, and it shows you the difference, and now it's going to. So I want to go back to verse 1. It shows that the amount of difference it is from the King James. But since I use the ESV, we're going to take the ESV first. All right. So here's what you want to look for. I want to look for words that are different. So say for instance, the King James is just gonna make this a little bit. So here's the thing. We have a 50%. So we have a 35%, 29, 41. So I want to see what words are different. So the ESV says, "In as much as many have undertaken." Boom. That's the word. So I'm now going to come in. Does it use the same word here? Many have undertaken. It uses the same word. It uses the same word in NASB 85. But in the Lexham English Bible, it says attempted. In the NIV, it says, of course, undertaken. In the NLT, it says many have set out. So there's a little bit of a difference. There's almost a new nuance here that can occur, but doesn't necessarily always do. So in one sense, in a large amount, so 1, 2, 3, in 4 of the 6 versions, it uses the same word. It uses the exact same word. So that's about a 66%. So, but I'm gonna still go over here, and I'm gonna type in what does undertaken mean, and what type of verb is it? So this is gonna help me in understanding this little that the new nuance that may be occurring because there is a slight difference between something I am undertaken and something that I attempted. It, it gives the impression of it's something that's not complete yet. At least the attempted comes across in the Lexham English Bible as something that I have not completed. Next, look at the next word, to compile. To compile a narrative of things that have been accomplished. So um, there's the word compile here, draw up, compile, to compile, so to draw up and 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 to write. So I think it's fair to say that draw up and to write um really convey the same thing, but there does seem to be a split amongst translations between the usage of compile and to write up. And I need to know, is there really anything here that I may need to understand about this passage? So I'm going to say the same thing that I said to the previous word. And here's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to copy it because I want to do the same thing. I I want to do the exact same thing. They're making this hard for me. All right. So I'm just going to copy this because I know um and to undertake. So these are things that I want to understand about, and this is, and what I also do is I also tell myself what verse. So this is in verse 1. This is in verse 1. And when you have a whole list of questions, having the exact verse does really help. It really helps there. So we're going to go back. So I will say this just because I'm studied this passage and I know a little bit about um how these how things are translated in the English. To compile is probably a infinitive. 9 times out of 10 is the infinitive. So you're going to have to look on special circumstances on does the infinitive have a special circumstance here. So it has this gives you a basic. So I'm just walking through here and trying to find the differences from each translation, and trying to have the best understanding. Now, once again, if you know Greek and Hebrew, then you're probably not going to need to do this. I hope that was helpful. You have a great day.